Hello and welcome to Player Reviews TV. Sure, villains always lose, well, most of the time. But when it comes to comic book movies, the bad guys are often some of the most memorable characters. Whether tragic or sociopathic, haunting or empathetic, supervillains are the engine that drives many of the best comic book storylines to date. Today we are going to talk about one of the most popular foes of Batman, the Deathstroke. Deathstroke is a fictional supervillain appearing in American comic books published by DC Comics. The character was created by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. He is a mercenary and assassin who first appeared in the New Teen Titans issue 2. Wizard magazine rated him the 24th greatest villain of all time. He was originally introduced as the Terminator, a mercenary who was completing the terms of contract undertaken by his son Ravager. Due to his popularity, Deathstroke received his own series, Deathstroke The Terminator in 1981. It was retitled Deathstroke The Hunted for issues 0 and 41 to 45, and then simply Deathstroke for issues 46 to 60. The series was cancelled with issue 60. In total, Deathstroke ran for 65 issues. Slade Wilson was 16 years old when he first enlisted in the United States Army, having lied about his age. After serving a stint in Korea, he was later assigned to Camp Washington, where he had been promoted to the rank of major. In the early 1960s, he met Captain Adeline Kane, who was tasked with training young soldiers in new fighting techniques in anticipation of bringing troubles taking place in Vietnam. Kane was amazed at how skilled Slade was and how quickly he adapted to modern conventions of warfare. She immediately fell in love with him and realized that he was without a doubt the most able-bodied combatant she had ever encountered. She offered to privately train Slade in guerrilla warfare. In less than a year, Slade mastered every fighting form presented to him and was soon promoted to the rank of lieutenant colonel. 6 months later, Adeline and he were married and she became pregnant with their first child. Chosen for a secret experiment, the army imbued him with enhanced physical powers in an attempt to create meta-human super soldiers for the US military. Deathstroke became a mercenary soon after the experiment when he defied orders and rescued his friend Wintergreen, sent on a suicide mission by a commanding officer with a grudge. However, Slade kept this career secret from his family, even though his wife was an expert military combat instructor. A criminal named the Jackal took his younger son Joseph Wilson hostage to force Slade to divulge the name of a client who had hired him as an assassin. Slade refused, claiming it was against his personal honor code. He attacked and killed the kidnappers. Unfortunately, Joseph's throat was slashed by one of the criminals before Slade could prevent it, destroying Joseph's vocal cords and rendering him mute. After taking Joseph to the hospital, his wife Adeline Wilson was enraged at his endangerment of her son and tried to kill Slade by shooting him, but only managed to destroy his right eye. Afterward, his confidence in his physical abilities was such that he made no secret of his impaired vision, marked by his mask which has a black featureless half covering his lost eye. Deathstroke possesses enhanced strength, speed, agility and durability granted by an experimental serum. These include having the strength of 10 men and possessing heightened speed, stamina, endurance and reflexes. His enhancements made it possible for him to press about a ton. He has the capacity to use up to 90% of his brain at any one time, making him a tactical genius adept at turning his opponent's own abilities against them. This can also be attributed to his years in the military and combat with various heroes. Deathstroke also possesses a healing factor in his blood that enables him to recover from physical injury much faster than a normal person. However, it does have limitations as it could not heal his missing eye and cannot regenerate entire limbs. This enables him to recover from what would otherwise be fatal injuries, though recovering from such injuries renders him insane and animalistic for a short period. Deathstroke is also a formidable martial artist and hand-to-hand combatant. He proved himself to be one of the best fighters in the United States Army and through his martial arts training. You aren't going to be cast as the main antagonist against Batman on film without having some serious tussles with him in the comic book world. One of the most prominent may be in the Batman, The Dark Knight Volume 2, which came out in 2012. It features Deathstroke, who has been affected by venom that completely eliminates the fear of death. As a result, he smashes into the Batplane and throws Batman from it. Thankfully, Batman was smart enough to be able to grapple to a tree and break his fall, but you can imagine it was still pretty inconvenient, especially when the last thing Deathstroke needs to become is more deadly.
Wait! You may be wondering why the red suit.
When Fabian Nicieza, who was the writer for Deadpool, first saw the design for the character, he was quoted as saying, "This is Deathstroke from Teen Titans." It is definitely easy to see where the artist Rob Liefeld got his inspiration for the character, including the obvious visual similarities and career choice. The name Wade Wilson for Deadpool is also obviously a fun tongue-in-cheek reference to Slade Wilson. Now, to be fair, Deadpool is definitely more of a wise ass and has his own identifying characteristics, but they definitely share the same overall aesthetic. We are sure DC is hoping that a movie with Deathstroke will be just as successful as the Deadpool movie.
I'm touching myself tonight.
Bye.